Welcome to another video of Double A Construction. Today's project is a nice one. So it's this client's basement. It was a big open space. They used it for two things. They had a gym in there, and they had this huge table that was just filled with Legos. And that was what half the space was. And this space you're looking at right now was just reserved for the Lego collection. So the client wanted to turn it into a new room. So basically, adding a room to the house. That way, their son can come and live here, and this can be his room for a long time. So the challenge was, I mean, it wasn't a big challenge, thankfully, but we had to divide the room in two, and so add a big drywall partition and divide the electrical into two, adding a switch and a thermostat. Right now, there's one thermostat that's controlling both baseboard heaters, but we'd like to have one for the room and one for outside the room. And same for the lights, right? They specifically wanted a closet inside the room and another closet right outside, which, as you can see right now, the carpenter is framing the start of the outside closet. The inside closet is will be the sliding door you can see on the left right here, and the pre-finished sliding door, and the outside closet will be a linen closet. And you'll see soon has it'll have nice shelves, and it'll be some good storage space in the basement. So right now, the first step of construction is framing your walls. So here I am passing by, getting tools. I'm working at the top right now, while my carpenter is framing here. And here's a little chatter, and because that's always nice on site. So yeah, it's very important to get the framing right for two reasons. If you don't, your drywall is it won't sit properly on your studs, and your whole finish will be off. And obviously, this is where you decide how big things are going to be. So here's the carpenter measuring each stud, making a little mark, and cutting each and every single one to size, fitting them so they're nice and plumb, and nailing them. So you'll see in a bit, we're not nailing them right into the floor joist at the top. We added a little piece of wood. That way we don't have to exactly line up with the floor joist. And that way we have the freedom to put our stud anywhere. Um, from this point of view, it's front and back. But yeah, you'll see when I pass the camera in a bit. So now this is the part where we frame the two doors. That's the first door on the in the middle on the left side. That door will be to access the room, and on the right side, that's the door for the linen closet. And we made sure that the width of the linen closet is big enough to fit stuff, but not too big, because we want the width of the linen closet to be the depth of the closet that will be inside the room. That way we don't have any weird shapes for our room. So the room is rectangular, the actual living space is rectangular, and we want to keep it that way. So here you are, nailing in the header for the door. And one thing I'll tell you is with carpentry, especially, a really good carpenter and a okay carpenter, that's like that's like a 10x difference. I wanted to say 100x, but you're human. But I mean, this guy here, he's starting out on his own for it hasn't been long, but he is amazing. He's so fast. He got this done in a day, less than a day. I was surprised, and yeah, so it kept us on schedule, and yeah, I'm super happy. So right now he's putting the in French you call these the entremises. They add some more structural integrity to the wall. And let me tell you, I kicked that thing a lot of times, and it's sturdy. So one big challenge with this project was the suspended ceiling. As you can see, we already cut into it. A challenge will be to reconstruct it, right? But thankfully, you'll see the final product. It turned out nice, but it was very technical to cut all the T's and all the L's right to make it look seamless and make it look like this room was always there. Now we're cutting the suspended ceiling for the second closet. That way we can frame all the way up there. And so the lights here were a bit. We had to think about it, me and the client. What we ended up doing is putting four lights in the room and one light in each closet. Later on, though, we gave it a good look, and it turned out that the four closets in the room weren't enough, so we added a fifth one. What we did actually is we didn't add the new light in the room. We added it in the linen closet. And you'll see at the final shots, it's really bright. And we shifted one of the old lights, which is just a suspended ceiling tile, to the room. So here you are. He's putting the tracks for the linen closet and the second closet. This takes a lot of planning and drawing out. You want to make sure your layout is fine and everyone's okay with it before you start screwing and nailing into your floor. So, so yeah, we made sure, and I remember we drew it out at the very start during the planning phase, and yeah, we talked it through with the clients and everything. As you can see right now at the bottom right, I mean, the whole wall is this weird olive color, which back in the day, we laugh now, but back in the day, this was in fashion, right? I mean, when you look at these outdated bathrooms and outdated kitchens and all these finishes that are we call them old, but back in the day, they were the style, right? They were fashion at the time. Anyway, so if you look at the baseboard, um, it's this weird. I mean, it's obviously old fashioned, but it's this curved baseboard that's kind of flat and curved at the top, and there's a little quarter round at the very bottom. And initially, when I talked to the clients, I tried to match it, but I might have gotten the wrong baseboard, and I did. So I showed it to them. This is me showing it to them right now, actually. And as you can see, this baseboard is the classic colonial one that you see in most modern houses. I got it without thinking at the Home Depot. I was passing by and I just grabbed it. So I showed it to them, and thankfully they were okay with it. Um, the whole room has a lot of modern stuff in it, that is not in the rest of the house. So we gave up trying to completely match it to the rest of the house. Um, the main example is the doors. Your doors are these six panel doors, and in the rest of the house, they're just big panels of wood, um, which are indeed very, very classical. And I say classical in the Beethoven sense, not in the, you know what I mean. So I asked the clients if the baseboard was okay, and if I could just transition it nicely into the old one, and they said yes. One thing I'll say about these guys is they're amazing to work with. I mean, great communicators, very easygoing, and yeah, it was honestly a pleasure to work on their home. And when you meet people like this, for me, like it gives me that much more incentive to do a great job, go above and beyond. So yeah, this was a really nice one. So here we are, we're almost finished with the framing. As you can see, the second sliding door is framed for the big closet for the room. And now we're finishing it up. You see me doing a lot of walking around while the carpenter is like slaying over there. That's me, either talking with him or talking with the clients. And let me tell you, it's fun when you don't when you don't cut all the wood. But yeah, he's a one man show. He's amazing. Let me tell you. Here we are cleaning up all the wood dust. Framing done. We'll have a little linen closet over here, and that's why we have this opening. So the door opens outwards, and we'll have shelves. We'll see what the client wants exactly for the shelving, complete shelving. That's what it looks like. Really big shelves. That way they can store all the big stuff here in the house. And it's in the basement. It's perfect, right? You want that out of sight. Door here to the new room. This will be the son's room. So right here you'll have the closet for the room. Nice 6 foot door. It's right over there. I'll show you in a bit. Nice opening. We'll have a little closet set. We'll give them a bar for now, and maybe in the future they'll get a nice closet set where they have shelving and stuff to store their clothes in. And yeah, so framing done. Tomorrow the electrician's passing to separate the electricity into two. Right? You don't want the switch outside the room to open the lights inside the room. Yeah, so the electrician will come and do that, and after that it's finished work. So drywall, plaster, and paint, trim around the doors, baseboard, all that stuff. Yeah, nice little project, and it's going well so far. So I lied about the closet set. It turned out not to be a bar. The client wanted a special closet set they picked out, and yeah, so I'll show you guys that at the end with the final pictures. Here we are now installing the two doors. We chose to install the doors before the drywall. People can do it after the drywall. Some people do it because some people do it after the drywall because they don't want to damage the door, right, and have too much stuff scratching it while you're moving around with your drill, with your knives, with your big sheets. But we chose to do it at the same day because the carpenter was there, and that way he doesn't have to come back. And we took good care of the door, and we caulked it. And anyway, it's to be painted, so we didn't worry too much. The only big part we had to worry about is making sure the handles don't get scratched. And one thing I'll tell you about these doors, the handles are so nice. I was so happy. And you'll see later. I'll have a close up when you open the door, and it feels amazing. So that's the first door installed. Here's the second one. So here you can catch a glimpse of the old doors on the right. They were these. So the old owners installed them, and what they would do, and I heard this story from a client. What they would do is they would sand and refinish their doors every few years. Partly because they had a dog, and the dog would scratch at the bottom of the door. So they were. I've never seen a door like that. Maybe it's because I haven't been around for that long in the industry. But yeah, I can't imagine if every few years you have to take the door off, sand it, refinish it, then varnish it. I'd much rather just paint. Right. But to each their own, and it's pretty cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, but yeah, I've never seen something like that. So while my carpenter is doing the second door, I was starting to seal the nail holes. So when you finish any carpentry, you nail in carpentry, and those nails you will always see if you don't patch them up. So what you do is you take this pink plaster and you put it inside the nail hole with your finger. Here's the door installed, by the way. Looks great, pretty plush. There's just a sticker at the bottom. That was a pain to get off. So here we're starting the drywall. So yeah, to finish any carpentry, you fill in the holes with this pink plaster, and you just do it with your hands and you wipe it off so there's no excess, and then you caulk the joints. The reason why you don't caulk the nail holes is because caulk shrinks, and your nail holes you'll be able to see that when you put caulk and it shrinks. So put the plaster on the nail holes, and it's this pink plaster. Most carpenters use it for their nail holes, not any normal plaster. And yeah, it should do the trick. So now's the part of the project. So the electrician passed. As you can see, the wires are in the wall. You have your outlet and your thermostat on the other side. Now's the part where we finish. And finish takes a very long time because you need extreme patience. Your drywall sheets need to sit correctly. You need to cut them very accurately, that way you don't have big joints. And plaster. Plaster is so hard. I hate plaster, even though I can do it pretty well now. It's been a while, but it's really tough. Um, you have to go with three coats usually, and even then sometimes you have a few scratches, maybe from debris in your plaster, or a few bubbles that you have to just go over again. But it's one of those things where you have to be really patient and take your time. For patches, you don't have to give it three coats. It's not as hard as big joints like these. But yeah, plaster is an art, and that's why people do it for a living. To me, it's pretty crazy that people, their full time job, their whole lives are dedicated to making walls flat. If that's not a metaphor somewhere, I don't know what is. So here we are screwing all the sheets. As you can see on the left, these drywall sheets have a little divot at the joints, the factory joints. That way, when you do put plaster and put your tape on them, you have this little space to fill with your plaster, and your joint doesn't go out, right? So here we are doing the final screw-ins. Alrighty, now this is the controversial part. This is my cock job. So a lot of people pass their cock gun, um, and they put just enough to fill in the gaps. And I do that sometimes, but here I just gobbled it up everywhere, and with a sponge and a rag, it does the trick. One challenge we got when we were building this room was that the doors had a gap at the top, and so your lights inside the room, and especially inside this closet, as you can see, this is the new light, which is super bright. That light would seep out from above the door and into the room. Uh, and so it was really hard to move the door up. We could have done it, but it would have taken a lot of effort, a lot of cutting, and some new material. So I told the client, and we ended up settling for adding more door stoppers at the top. So basically, making the door stopper a little bit lower. I'm pretty sure it was half an inch, and I added another half an inch piece of trim on the top. And so this is what I'm doing now. It's demolished, and here are the new door stoppers that we're putting at the top. They're not necessarily door stoppers, they're just some sort of trim. Here I am nailing them in, and you'll see right below these door stoppers, the new ones or these trims. I'll put my old door stopper, and it should be enough to stop the light from exiting, and it'll help with the sound insulation as well. So yeah, this is something to keep an eye out for when you buy prefabricated doors. Um, Sometimes the hinges, the places where you put the hinges on the door, the little divots are cut by hand. Here they weren't, and so you have to be really careful where your door goes, to not have to do what I did, right? So this part is where I'm doing the shelves for the linen closet, and and this cut was funny because the whole thing fell. But yeah, this is I want to get it pretty tight, but not too tight. So this cut wasn't enough. Yeah. So I go back, I shave a little off the end. Try again. There you go. That does the trick. And so next shelf, I'll put it here, and I had a little accident here. But it was fine. There you go. Does it fit? Give it a little tap, maybe. There you go. So here you can see the joints, the plaster. It was really nice on this side. I mean, I'm super happy with what the drywall guy did. Um, After that, it's the suspended ceiling. I have to reinstall. So first thing to do with suspended ceilings is to put your L on the perimeter, measure it out, cut it with your metal cutters, and just screw it into your studs. As you can see from this side, all the doors are trimmed out and all the plaster's done. And as you can see, there's that gap above the door, and that's before I shimmed it even more and brought the door trims even lower. But yeah, the light from there, from above the door, was even worse. So yeah, again, something to look out for. Thankfully, it was fixed with a lot of a lot of shimming and bringing the trims down lower and lower, and the clients were okay with it. So after your L's, you put your T's, you cut them, and you put them. Here they were friction fit. We're using the old T's, and unfortunately they were cut where they clip in, so I couldn't clip them in. So yeah, we just friction fit them. We cut them a little big, and I put them. I hit them into place basically. And with your tiles, they won't move. They should be good. I was really happy because we didn't have to buy any more teas. We really recycled everything, and we reused the old teas. It's the same exact suspended ceiling. Same teas, same tiles, and yeah, it looks pretty seamless. The only new stuff we had to buy is the elf that you see I installed in a bit. Here's a funny thing: I was screwing this L into the wall, and it wasn't screwing in. And you see that screw in the wall? I was screwing a screw in a screw. So yeah, keep an eye out for screwing screws into screws. This is the inside of the room. Here I am installing the other L. Yeah, because pretty much, I mean, this we're almost finished here. As you can see, we didn't paint the room. The clients wanted to paint it, both to save a little money and also to because they knew how to do it. They picked out this really nice color, I think, super unique for the inside of the room. They had the kid that was moving in pick it out, which is really nice, thoughtful. It's this nice yellow, which you don't see many yellow rooms anymore, but I really liked how it turned out. It looked a bit golden. So this is me cutting out the tile for inside of the linen cabinet or the linen closet. I'm really happy with how the ceiling turned out in the linen closet. Alright, so here's the final walkthrough. As you can see, the wall looks nice. Everything is trimmed out. The plaster's done. All the doors trimmed, caulked. Here, the nice handle opens nicely. Super bright linen closet. And as you can see, the ceiling is centered. All the shelves. And the door's so nice. It closes so seamlessly. And so here's the entrance to the actual room. Pretty good suspended ceiling tie-in. Here's the nice double door. And here's a really nice touch I'd like to show you. The trim is just flush with the door. I'm super happy with that. So here's the inside. Back of the door isn't finished because that's how they come. There you go. And now the electrical, they went for these nice dimmer switches. Super relaxing, super nice. And the thermostat is one of those you connect to your phone with an app, touch screen. I love it. So yeah, again, super happy with how the project turned out. We had a few challenges with the door, and with the electrician as well. It went a little bit over schedule, even though we didn't film that. But overall, I'm super happy with the product. Here are a few pictures of after the client painted the inside of the room. It looks great. I really like the color again. It's just like golden, and it's again it's so unique. I don't see it often, but they pulled it off somehow. It looks nice, and so yeah, I'm super happy with this project, and hopefully more to come with definitely with this client, and hopefully with more. So yeah, I hope you like this long form video. I know they're not for everyone, and if you made it this far, thank you. It's hard to keep someone's attention for 30 minutes. And yeah, I hope it was entertaining. And and yeah, one thing I have to do at the end of every video is obviously market, plug my business. So if you want to go to the Double A Construction website, We have a pricing page for all kinds of renovations, for drywall, for bathrooms, for flooring, for stairs. So yeah, go take a look at our pricing page, and if you're interested, you can give us a call or fill out our form, and we can give you an actual 100% accurate quote. And yeah, so again, thank you for watching, and subscribe and leave a like.